Welcome back, everyone. This is a free preview of this month's episode of Wild Magic. Catch the whole thing at patreon.com/tabletopped. Welcome back.
We're not talking over each other.
Yeah, no, we're not talking about it. Sorry, I gotta get back to do this thing.
We're all practicing.
Yeah, we're all practicing.
Hey, everybody, welcome to Tabletop. Today, this is Wild Magic. We're all practicing today, not talking over each other. We've heard your reviews. We've heard what you said. We've read all of your mean DMs.
Welcome back to Tabletop. This is my turn to practice.
Hey, welcome back to Tabletop. This is my turn to practice, and my name's Nick.
Hey, Nick, welcome back to Tabletop.
Who are you, though? Well, thank you for welcoming me back, but...
It's
cool.
your boy, Rio.
Nice. And
It's me, Franco.
yeah,
Hi, I'm Shade.
great.
I was quiet that entire time.
He's the only one that never interrupts anyway, so I don't know.
Yeah, Shade's gonna get an A+ on this assignment just for showing up.
He's the teacher.
I got an A+ on everything.
Is that true? Were you an A+
I
student?
mean, yeah, I was like a 4.0 kid.
Really?
Wow.
That's
I was like
impressive.
0.5.
It's like a 4.5 kid. What do you mean?
What?
Really?
Damn.
AP
yeah.
classes, it's all about grade
that's-
bloat.
Am I
My-
the dumbest one here?
No.
My
And also-
Nobody said that except for you.
my
That's
school.
why at 2.5, you got 4, you got 4.5. I didn't know 4.5
Hey,
was possible. What are you doing, Nick? 5?
No,
6?
I was at like a 3.
What's your grade point average?
I was between 3.6 and 3.8 through high school and college.
The education system is broken, and that scale is not really indicative of your intelligence.
But this is what I was saying, is that because I also took an IB and an AP class at my senior year. But
Yeah,
and
IBS is a really understudied problem. so.
yeah, for real. And I spent all my time working on that problem.
It takes a lot of time.
Yeah, I was drinking so much Arizona iced tea each morning just so that I could study it further during the day.
What the
Still
fuck?
99 cents.
Still 99 cents.
Except where it's not.
Yeah,
They just put a sticker right over the price.
Yeah. But like, and I took honors classes basically through all of high school.
That's 5 points.
Yeah, but none of those, they didn't actually aggregate any of those as like an inflationary thing on my grade point average. It was just like you got what you got. And it actually, like our valedictorian was somebody who took the base level classes because she got like a 4.0 or whatever it was.
Oh, right.
And, like, yeah, and she got
Because everybody else was like, "Oh, I'm going to try the hard ones," and it's
Yeah.
like, "What? My grades aren't inflated?"
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you got into a lot of fights all 4 years of high school, but they didn't pull you into the office until your senior year, would that be aggregated assault?
Welcome back to Tabletopped.
See, you told a really smart joke.
That's a really smart. Yeah,
It
that's
is.
true.
That's a word joke.
yeah.
Honestly, and I wasn't expecting that out of you. But it was a really good one.
Thank you.
Yeah, good job.
What do we do here in this?
What do we do
in this
life?
podcast?
I don't know. I think that we all have just like a lot of weird energy.
Should we
It's been
do
a weird
Gilmore
side of the
Guys
year.
before the break?
Yeah,
before
let's do it.
before the preview break.
I'll be back.
the preview break? Yeah, let's do it. So Gilmore Guys, where I'm at is that Rory went to Europe, then came home from Europe.
But
with
she's
grandma.
been to Europe before.
Yeah,
right?
but she went with
she
grandma.
went with
Yeah.
grandma. Yeah.
And all of the Italian men are flirting with Emily, which is very fun.
Is Emily grandma?
Yeah,
Emily
Emily's
grandma.
Okay.
And then Rory comes back because she like wasn't talking with her mom, and her mom
Yeah.
was going nuts at the inn.
Was that
she
because
just-
of the
fight, yeah.
the fight that they had about
Yeah.
her sleeping with Dean? Yeah.
And then she comes back. There's like a full episode. Luke came back. They're going out now. This is all very fun stuff.
Sure.
Very exciting. However, then she writes a note for Dean to be like, "Hey, we shouldn't do this. Sorry."
You never write it down.
Never
That,
write it
if
down.
anything we've learned in the Trump era is just don't write things down.
Sure.
But then you like give. Oh, sorry.
I don't know that I understood what you meant by that.
Oh, because there's like a lot of document, like
all
a
the
lot of
stuff
stuff
that's being stolen.
Yeah, and also
Okay,
he
cool.
rips up all of the notes
Oh,
he takes
yeah,
because it's like a weird mafioso
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Of course.
But
Yeah.
I don't want to take lessons from him.
Yeah.
That's a bad
He's
lesson
very
to
successful.
take. Yeah.
He's the
I mean, it's
president.
true.
But Rio, and then agreeing about the don't write things down, because then his wife finds it.
Obviously.
And there's that
Dean's wife?
Yeah.
Fuck.
And she's like throwing stuff out of the house.
Oh,
They
yeah, I
see
remember
that.
that. Yeah.
And then like the wife and her mom see Lorelai and Rory walking around, and they're like, "Fuck you for ruining this marriage, you fucking piece of shit."
The wife's mom.
Yes.
Got it.
And I was sort of like, wow, this is crazy. Because I don't know, like, I guess I didn't realize how much hatred would just be sent at Rory for this. Dean is really kind of skating by, at least from
That's
what
meant
we've
for you.
seen. Yeah.
I mean, there is that weird thing where, like, the woman in an affair gets blamed more than the man who had the affair.
Yeah. And also in this case, Dean is 100% at fault for, like, it all being found out, too.
Of course.
Because Rory was like, literally, I don't regret what happened, but I'm sorry, we can't do this. You're married. You need to figure out your life. And, like, I'm sorry, I'm out. And he just left it in his pocket. And it's just like, if you were doing, like, an affair or being crazy like this, why would you do that? That's, like, the stupidest thing in the
What
entire
do you mean leave
world.
it in his pocket?
In his jacket pocket.
Oh, his jacket pocket, and then his wife found it in the jacket?
Yeah.
Oh.
Pretty crazy. Or it just says pocket. Maybe it was in his, like, pants pocket and she was doing laundry or something.
That's crazy.
You know
That's
what I
actually,
mean?
That would be really stupid.
Nuts. That would be nuts.
Yeah.
You're just like,
That's when you want to get found out, but you want to broach so you just, like, leave little clues. for
Yeah.
your partner to find.
Yeah, deep inside, he wanted to be found out.
Yeah.
That's deep.
but then Rory goes back and is like, I'm so sorry that this happened. And then he was like, fuck you for sending me that letter. You're the worst thing that's ever happened. You've ruined
Shut
my
up,
life.
Dean.
And it's like, you're the worst. You're the worst person in the entire
such a-
world.
Burn letters.
Yeah.
Dean.
He's such a little creep.
He is, though he has cut his hair so he doesn't look completely insane anymore.
Did you ever get a vibe early on in the show that Lorelai was into Dean?
No, I didn't.
I remember when me and Rebecca first watched it for the first time, we were like, does he have the hots for Lorelai? Do they have chemistry?
I mean, it's weird. They do have, like, kind of the same chemistry that Rory and Lorelai have, where it was like banter going back and forth. They had their
Bants.
jokes, you know?
Sorry,
He's just fitting into the family well.
but they should not have the same chemistry because
That's what I'm saying, though. It's like
Oh,
there's
okay.
like some weirdness there because it always
What,
felt like
Dean and Lorelai have that chemistry?
Yeah, that
It's the
they
same
were-
chemistry that Rory and Dean have.
a parent-child chemistry.
yeah, parent-child
Okay.
chemistry. It's just weird.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like because you know she would always be like, Dean, could you like go like do this thing? And he's like, yeah, I'll go fill up the water fountain for you or whatever. And she's like, thanks. And like that's kind of how she interacts with Rory as well. Kind of weird. And then when you see her other boyfriends like Jess so far, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess it's just Jess. But Lorelai does not treat him that way. Also, she has this.
Well, she hates him.
Yeah, she hates him
Because he's
so.
poor.
And it breaks her like whole thing with Luke up if like it gets complicated if her daughter's dating his nephew.
I don't think she would cared about that.
Mm.
I think that they would have had a weird family tree. But
I don't
they
think
would have been.
I don't think it came up really.
Maybe Jess was just too independent.
Yeah.
He was into Lorelai's bullshit, but he also wasn't like Luke, who's like, oh, I'm not into your bullshit, but also I tolerate it. Jess was just like, I'm not interacting.
Yeah.
Lorelai hates when people don't interact with her. on
That
that
is
level.
true.
That's true. I mean, Jess was also a delinquent and like, you know.
Heart of gold. He read books.
That's true. He read book.
He did read book. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Oh, is that your sleep jaw?
Dean don't read book.
He don't read book. And
He
that's why
don't read book. Just read book.
But Dean was like, "Oh, I see you're reading a book. That's cool." Like that was like their
Well-
first interaction ever.
This is the thing though that I've always disliked Dean from like the first
Sure.
6 episodes on.
He's a little freak.
Because he's like super controlling and he feels abusive.
Yeah,
So
because he
does,
is.
so does Jess, but with Jess it's sort of like, oh, I think that he's lashing out at some emotional trauma or whatever it is. And like that's bad. She shouldn't date him either. But Dean, it was like, no, this is just who this guy is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Didn't like that.
yeah.
Upper class white guy, small town.
Well, he's not
Upper
upper class.
He works at a grocery store.
He does.
He's
Raised to
famously.
believe he's the head of the house.
That's
no
true.
college,
Yeah.
and
He never went to college.
but he's also from Chicago.
Is he from Chicago? Oh,
yeah.
because at the very beginning he
There's some-
transfers in.
There's some weird scene where he talks about like it's like yeah they'll never be like us because they'll never. What's wrong?
Nothing. Keep going.
Is everything connected?
No, you're totally fine.
Are we all audible?
Don't worry
Did we
about
lose
it.
all
baby.
of this.
No, just the knobs were turned. So we'll see how that.
Now it's returned.
Yeah, they were turned.
Oh man, those knobs are getting out of control.
Yeah, but yeah, Dean is like, oh, don't you see? We're not like them at all. They're like big city rich girls or whatever, and we're just poor schlubs.
Yeah.
It's like, this guy's from Chicago.
This guy
he's
sucks.
from the big city.
Yeah, but that's all I've got. I honestly been slowing down on Gilmore Girls just because I've been introduced to Kath and Kim, which everyone should watch. It's like, it's amazing. Have you
Don't
guys
bring
seen-
a new show into this.
No.
Have you? It's an Australian show from like 2003,
Australia.
and it's these three women sketch. It's like kind of a sketch group, except it is a full sort of sitcom, and I don't know how to describe it. It's just really weird and really funny, and they're all in bad wigs, and they all kind of play all the characters. Like there was a full scene where Kath and Kim were at a luggage store, and the people in the luggage store were like the same actors with different bad wigs on, and they were like having a conversation. It's like pretty funny. I like it a lot. You guys should watch it. It's only like 4 seasons and like 2 movies, and like and maybe another special.
So many things. 4 seasons and 2 movies.
Exactly.
It's like 30 hours of my life.
Yeah.
Man, I don't even watch the shows that I want to watch. I'm
Yeah.
watching another show.
Damn, got him. Burn him down.
This is Gilmore Guys. We don't want your recommendations for other things here.
We just finished watching Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the Donald Glover.
Oh, the show.
The show.
Was it good?
Was it based on the movie or is it completely different?
It's a little different angle on it.
Yeah.
We also watched the movie halfway through because we were like, because Rebecca had watched it and was like, yeah, it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
And then I was like, the premise of this sounds so dumb. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why are they whatever? And then I watched it and I was like, yeah, it is dumb, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Makes
Yeah.
sense in universe.
I think
Yeah.
that the worst thing that a show can do is it
End.
can not make sense. If it's
Yeah.
dumb or good or awesome or smart or whatever, it doesn't really matter. It's just whether or not it makes sense or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the show was really good. I thought it was great.
Cool.
They match up Mr.'s and Mrs. Smith's together to like do spy shit
Mhm.
together, but like pose as married couples.
Yeah.
That is basically the premise, which is not the premise of the movie.
Yeah. Different because
They were married already. They were already like in love or whatever, but they just happened to work for
Separate
competing
agencies.
spy agencies,
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
because I thought that the whole premise of the movie, I guess that the show is vastly different than, but the whole premise of the movie was them finding out that the other
Yes.
person was a secret
and then
agent.
they start fighting.
Yeah. And is that what happens in the show?
No.
Okay.
Well, because they are paired together as like a fake married couple.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of about their relationship.
So it's like a comedic version of The Americans.
It is funny, and I haven't watched The Americans.
Yeah.
But probably, a little bit.
You know what a good spy show is? Archer.
Archer? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Pretty
Oh,
solid.
Archer.
I haven't watched Archer probably in like 5 years though.
Do you think it holds up?
Archer?
Yeah.
Well, they do a lot of different takes in the later season, so like it's constantly like refreshing itself.
I feel like it is in the same thing as like Family Guy or a lot of
I don't
these
know about
animated
that.
I mean,
stuff. Because I'm just all
or
and all I
Arrested
mean,
Development, and not just because
Yeah.
of
Lucille.
Lucille, who's actress,
Look out for Lucille.
whose actor name I
Jessica
forgot.
Walter.
Jessica Walter, thank you.
Yeah.
Not just because of her, but like it has kind of the same. And I apologize, I did actually interrupt you there. It has the same kind of irreverence. Family Guy, I think, is just aiming for lowest common denominator,
Yes, sure.
whereas this is a little more. I don't know. I guess it also kind of aims for lowest common denominator, though. I don't know.
Well, just character work.
Yeah.
I think and a lot of the jokes are like kind of about it. Like it's a little, they get a little bit meta about
Yeah.
like the lowest common denominator jokes that they do.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I put like all of those sort of in the same category, and all I mean by that is like in this specific instance, I view them all as they are like they don't hold up in the same way. Like you look back and you're like, this is kind of problematic. This is like not a very kosher joke anymore. But then you also kind of know that when you're watching it during the time period as well.
yeah. You're like, this is edgy humor.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's why like I haven't watched Archer in a long time. I think it probably doesn't hold up the same way.
I
But-
just watched it. It's fine.
The early seasons or like latest seasons?
I just ran through it.
Oh,
again.
really? What do you think? You're better to speak on this than I am.
Yeah, it does
He's
hold
more
up.
woke than you.
It holds up fairly well, but no, there are a lot of like early jokes
Yeah.
that probably wouldn't be written today. But I'm also replaying the Borderlands game, and there's a whole section that's just like where there's a character who's being alluded to being gay, and it's like as a joke. I'm like,
Yeah, that series
the
is almost
2000
20 years old.
The 2009, 2010 era is
This
so
is the
bad.
thing, Rio, because I've been watching a bunch of movies from that era right
Yeah.
now. I think it is actually like 90s, 80s. Like these movies hold up better than 2000 to 2015.
Yeah.
Like that era was such a fundamental like rotational point in the culture
The woke backlash of the odds.
of the Obama administration. Or whatever.
probably,
People,
yeah.
it's
Honestly,
just
yeah.
'Cause there was like that weird, from 2000 to 2010, people were just going like, let's make the raunchiest, nastiest movies we can.
Yeah.
Bush
And
is
then-
in office. 9/11's in the rearview mirror. Let's light them up.
Yeah. I don't know. Because like that, I've watched a lot of things, like even things like Joe Dirt. Have you?
Oh my
Do you
God.
remember Joe Dirt?
I do.
So
I think we talked about it.
Yeah,
already.
yeah. I mean, it is ridiculous how because the jokes there are mostly classist jokes, and like you kind of expect that going in, but then just because it's like ubiquitous at the time, just like sledgehammered in there is like this weird like anti like gay joke line that's like through the entire thing, but the whole movie could do without it. It's not necessary in any way, but obviously the artist felt like, no, this is like a pretty important part of this character or this movie or whatever.
In fairness, the movie's not necessary in any way either.
That is very
So-
true. That is very true.
Wow. He hooked them to the back of his truck and then he drug them.
Wow.
I apologize. I shouldn't. The Criterion Collection, we'll surely put it there.
Yeah.
someday.
Of course.
This is David Spade. Yeah, David Spade. I only remember, I think this came up the last time we talked about Joe Dirt, because we talk about Joe Dirt, I think, every year. I think it's just like an annual tradition.
This Wild Magic stuff is just Gilmore Guys and Joe Dirt. So that's all it is.
It's really
It was
Just rename it to
Gilmore Dirt.
Gilmore Dirt.
Gilmore Dirt. Okay. Joe's Dirt. The only joke I remember from that movie is the "You're my sister" joke.
yeah.
And
And it's really bad.
I remember thinking it very funny.
It's very funny, but it's like the thing about it is that the movie would have actually held up a lot better because there is heart there, right?
Sure.
The reason why it doesn't hold up is that it is constantly punching down. All of the jokes are punching down. Even when and it's not like Joe making fun of other people, which he does do.
Yeah.
But it's also like everyone shitting on Joe not because of who he is, but because of like what he is as a class.
I will say I also do recall when I watched that movie 30 years ago. I don't know how long ago it was at this point.
Stop saying things in terms of decades.
Apologies. I also thought it was pretty funny, but I think Star Wars did it better.
That's true.
I always remember that's a space peanut, when he brings the big hunk of.
And it's like a big piece of shit.
Yeah, and he goes to the guy who is like appraising it, and he's like, "Well, it's unfortunately worthless because it is a huge hunk of like frozen poop." And he's like, "What are you talking about? Look, there's like stuff in here that is markings of space." He goes, "No, see right there, that's a peanut." And he goes, "No, that's a space peanut."
Stupid.
It's very stupid. It's very stupid.
Stupid movies we've seen.
No, but I'll talk about something else entirely.
I saw a good movie.
Okay, go for it.
I saw One of Them Days yesterday.
How was that? Yeah, you said it was
Oh, it
good.
was so good.
Yeah,
Good buddy comedy.
yeah.
And
Is it-
about a relatable problem of having to
Rebecca-
pay the rent.
Yeah, Rebecca described it as a different take on Friday. Like it's another Friday movie.
Oh, yeah.
Is it new? I haven't
Yeah,
heard
just-
of it.
just came
out.
Oh, cool.
So it is Kiki Palmer and SZA?
Yeah.
SZA? SZA?
SZA.
I'm an elder millennial. But yeah, so it's like they have an apartment. They live in this place called the Jungle.
Yeah.
It's the hood, and they have to pay their rent, but one of their boyfriends steals their money on a get-rich-quick marketing scheme.
Yeah.
Much like Chris Tucker's character.
And so now they have one day to raise $1,500.
It is Friday. That's
It's
really
Friday. Yes, it's Friday. Yeah.
And there's a lot of like fun stuff going on in the backgrounds.
Does Ice Cube executive produce?
Ice Cube. I don't see Ice Cube's name in it. But Cat Williams.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Okay.
really?
He's got a recurring sort of cameo.
Yeah.
That's
I
surprising.
can't think of her name, but Ava from Abbott Elementary shows up. So it's one of those movies that's just like they bring everyone in
Yeah.
to like pop up and do a scene.
Did you guys see the Abbott Elementary and Always Sunny crossover?
No.
Yeah. Well, so they've only done the Abbott portion, I think, or what? Or
Oh man,
it's the Abbott portion right now, and like the Sunny portion's coming out later.
that sounds incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like them donating their time at the school to like because they
Community
have to like
service.
court ordered.
Yeah.
of
And
course.
like one of the teachers is like, I don't think that adult can read. And so like to Charlie, and so like there's a whole section of them teaching Charlie how to read. And there's also like Dennis, I think is like really doesn't want to be on camera. And so
Yeah.
every time like the camera sweeps and he's like in the frame, he'll like clock it and then like slowly move out of frame.
Yeah.
Abbott Elementary is really good, and I feel like Ava is a character that consistently.
And there it was, another free preview. Go check out our Patreon if you'd like to listen to the rest. Become a subscriber for as much as you want a month. All right, see you all next Monday.